Yeah. So like, I really find value in that. You set up your relationships like a contract, and you actually write that out. I think that writing things out kind of creates like this expectation, and it also creates an accountability measure. So you know, like, hey, baby, you are in breach of your contract. We need to go do we need to have a hard conversation because you're doing something that you said that you were not going to do, and this is not what I or you signed up for. So it may be time for us to reevaluate some things, or we just might have to. Contract might have to be null and void.
Yeah.
I think for me, as someone who's never actually been in a relationship, it's good to hear that.
And it's new. I didn't know.
I've never been in a relationship.
Okay.
Yeah, I have never been in a relationship. I've talked to people. Yes, I've had flings and several.
Chris be paying
several. One night stands.
They be wanting Chris and he be paying them so bad.
But I haven't been in.
Are you running?
Am I running? I don't think it's running. I think that. So I grew up in a household where my parents were madly in love with each other, and they are still madly in love with each other. Like my parents are still married. They are like each other's everything. And so like, because I grew up in a household that was like bred in like true love, I know what like true love and passion looks like. And I think that I've never truly been in a space to really love somebody the way that they deserve to be loved, because I have always been so focused on loving myself.
That's valuable.
Yeah, like I can admit, I'm a Scorpio. I'm an only child.
Oh, family.
Yeah.
Scorpios are crazy as hell.
Girl, fuck you.
Well,
emotional ass whore.
Subjective
as hell.
But
I'll take it.
And I think that like just growing up, I was always focused on like my life and career and school and traveling and experiencing new things, because I knew that at the moment that I was to get into a relationship, I was going to have to sacrifice some things in order to make it work for the good of the relationship. Because when you get into something with somebody, you not only have to grow as an individual, but also you're challenged to grow as a pair. And just based off how I was raised, I have always viewed relationships as sacrifice, because you have to sacrifice something in order to make it work. Like I look at love a lot of times as sacrifice. True love is sacrifice. And so I just think for me personally, I was just never in the space where I was willing to sacrifice who I am, what I wanted, or how I wanted to live just to be into it with somebody else. Or I just never found somebody that made me want to feel like, okay, you are worth me giving that to you, and I wanted to make that work. But yeah, I haven't been in a relationship now because I am 30, newly 30.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's something that I'm open to now. Like I talk about the serial dating. I am dating now. I'm in the midst of talking to somebody who's like really, really, really cool. We're getting to know each other. But if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. Because at the least, I know that I have the best relationship of all, which is a relationship with myself. So yeah.
That's cute. I definitely date with a purpose. You hit on so many things that I would love to expound on. Yeah. I wanted to hear. I was just wondering if you had. Oh, I'm
playing.
No, Jonathan's a whore.
No.
He was the turn.
I'm a delivered. I'm delivered. I'm delivered. I'm a good old Christian.
Ex-twink
married
God.
man.
Ex-twink God.
I'm a good old Christian.
Look up the videos. Twink God. They may be somewhere out there still.
They may be. Maybe not. Who knows? Stay tuned. I'm sorry, what were you wanting to ask me exactly?
No question in particular. I was just wondering if you had any thoughts, any input.
So I'm not gonna lie, to be honest, like I really am a lover boy, but to Chris's point, I feel like I grew up in a household seeing my parents be together and love on each other like really, really hard. But my struggle has been being a lover boy. And I think that what's unfortunate is that in our community, in the LGBT community, like we face some struggles, right? Like as a community, we face some struggles growing up. And I've come to terms and I've realized that like a lot of people in our community aren't raised on love. They're raised on survival. And that's how they show they love. And so that's been my experience, like with sometimes a relationship. And sometimes when you pour and pour and pour into people, or if people know you that type of person, you will attract those individuals.
Absolutely.
So versus the people you really need to be with.
Absolutely.
And knowing you in your previous relationships, you do love very, very hard.
That's why I'm going back to the streets.
You do love
anybody.
and then when it doesn't work out, you resent even harder.
Ooh, that's a lot of weight to carry.
Mm-hmm, it is.
Expound.
Private conversation.
Well, no, but see, I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, and maybe that's a coping mechanism. My cutoff game is so strong.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people will take it as shade, but I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Like, sometimes it scares me. Like, sometimes I forget the individual I was once.
True.
Like, I don't want nobody I've ever been with. Like,
true.
Maybe we shouldn't put that if they were, because I don't even want to be funny like that.
True.
But like, I really move on and be like,
true. And they'd be mad at his friends for not moving on too. He cut him off. I gotta cut him off.
Yeah.
I done cut Chris off for 2 weeks for not doing that. Yeah.
It'd be that way. It'd be that way sometimes, for sure. For sure. This is interesting to me.
That's why they can't be my dates no more.
Child, when you bring him around, hey.
Let me not get too comfortable.
Oh my. I'm just thinking about a few things, and I know one thing that's sticking out for me is off of the hymn of what you were talking about, Chris, with regard to like being with, like not needing to be with somebody and loving on yourself, which I think is incredibly important.
Yes.
And both of you talked about like coming from families where you saw love and union and all that. And that is not my truth. So I think one of the reasons that I present the way that I do is because when I am dating, and I've not dated a lot in my life because I've been in long-term relationships, right? So, but I'm dating with a purpose. Like I'm not giving any of my time, energy, and attention to someone who, one, is not deserving, and secondly, is not somebody that I can see me investing my time, because whatever I offer, the relationship is an investment. It's going to be a low investment or a high investment. It's somewhere in between. And so for me, I just want it to be fruitful.
I'm gonna need that contract. I need. Can you send me one of your contracts over so I can start using it?
You know what? You know what is so crazy? I think that also. I think that you are a wise person. I think that you got to a space sooner than what a lot of people would get to a space. Literally, I was getting my haircut today, and I was talking to my barber, my new barber, might I add. And he was like, "You dating somebody?" And I was like, "Well, no, I'm cool. I'm not in a relationship. I'm dating. I'm figuring things out right now. I got somebody." And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Are you dating?" He was like, "Oh yeah, I'm dating." And he was like, "I fall quick." I said, "Really?" He was like, "Yeah, cause what I got to wait for? What I'm wasting time for? Either it's gonna work or it's not gonna work." And I was like, you know what? I never even thought about like dating somebody and like moving fast, because I already know if it's gonna work, or I already know if it's not gonna work, because I can expedite this because I know how I am, I know how I show up, I can move forward, because if it's not gonna work for you, baby, it's just not gonna work. Yeah. And so this whole idea about developing and creating like relationships with like intent, and I think that for me, traditionally has kind of always been easy for me to make friends, right? So like there's like those non-sexual relationships that I don't have no issues made, because like you, I meet no stranger. I meet no stranger, and I feel like I've always been able to mix amongst people, and just by me being a child that moved around a lot, I was required to make a lot of friends. But I think that that didn't always translate the best way into having romantic relationships with folk for reasons that I don't know why. But I think that, but now that I'm older, I realized that it was just me not allowing myself to be vulnerable, to let people in, to get to know me, and just taking a risk, a chance, because I don't like to take things a chance, because I like to be in control. And relationships is taking a risk. Relationships is leaving things up to chance, because it's something that's beyond your control, even with a contract, right?
Yeah,
Because that other
it
person could violate that contract, and it's like, damn, well, shit, I done wasted all of that goddamn time, all of this paper, and all of this ink on this contract, and you still I can make it a fool.
Depends on how you look at it.
I agree. Let me not say that. I agree.
It depends on how you look at it, because I don't believe I waste my time. And I've had my excursions. Mm-hmm. I've had my excursions, but then I also believe, and I continue to this day to feel the impact of soul ties as well. And so, and that's why it was purposeful for me to figure out how to better navigate relationships in a way that protect me from me. I didn't need to be protected from others. I need to be protected from
myself.
Me.
Yeah.
And so it's interesting to hear conversations like this, because I'm not removed from them. I can remember thinking and expressing in these self-sabotaging, distancing, disconnecting type of ways when I was like managing relationships. And that's how I define and classify like behaviors like the ones that I'm hearing now. So sorry, I'm not sorry, but because I'm speaking like from my own experience, but oftentimes I don't. I try to meter like what I say and how I think about a thing, because what I don't want is for people to think that I judge them for that thing. Right. So it's always a fine line that I feel like I'm walking, because I don't feel like I'm judgmental at all. I'm just very empathetic. Because I know, and I've experienced, and I always want people to hear and understand that. And me hearing myself say this, it actually reminded me of, I was thinking earlier when you were talking about like not my apologies, not having to be with someone else, like, having to sacrifice, that was the word I think you used. And it's interesting because I don't see sacrifice or giving something up. You were like, I'm gonna have to sacrifice something. Like when you're going in, I'm gonna have to give up this and give up that. And I've just never looked at relationships in that way. People that I've engaged and I've decided, and they have then also decided with me that we're gonna give this thing a chance. We're gonna plant something, and we're gonna nurture it and watch it grow together. What have I sacrificed here? All the dreams and aspirations that I have and that they have, we get to see those together. That's the purpose. That's why we are engaging, so that we can see those things together. But what's even better than that is being able to see things together that we hadn't even dreamt of.
I love that.
Like just creating new space and opportunities together, which is giving me goosebumps, because I literally just did that with my partner and us venturing here to Dallas. Yeah.
Stepping out on faith. I mean, y'all moved.
Absolutely.
Y'all moved halfway across the country for y'all next. And that's a beautiful thing. And
brought the babies with y'all.
And we brought the fur babies.
We brought them babies. I love them to death, but
they are expensive.
It's a lot of work.
You be talking to them like real kids.
I do. They speak plain English.
I'm sure.
And I think that, I think maybe my experience of sacrifice, yes, it comes from like me watching my mom and my dad sacrifice certain things in order just to make it work for me. Because also I think that like their relationship was love that was created out of survival, because they had to survive because I was here. So all that they had, at the end of the day, was the love that they had for each other and the love for me. And they figured out how to make it work. And I think that in my head, I assimilate love and sacrifice is synonymous in my personal life, just because I'm someone who has many goals, many dreams, and many aspirations. And through the times where I have talked to people, I've gotten to know people, I felt like in my mind, if I'm gonna make this work, it's something that I'm going to have to sacrifice that I want in order to make it work with them, because they feel like, oh, I may not have enough time. Chris don't got enough time for me, or Chris, he a little bougie, or like Chris like to do this and I like to do that, and so I would typically stop things in that moment, because it said like I'm not willing to make those sacrifices for those things that I like to do and like to enjoy, to focus on you or to give you time to get to where I'm at because life is short.
Just get your earth sign. That's all you need. Just get your earth sign. And then you live your life. It be real. You live your life. They live theirs, and y'all see each other when y'all see each other.
I just need somebody who can follow instructions. I want you to live the life that I want to live.
Oh.
You go where I tell you to go when I need you to go, and you follow instructions.
You need a twink. He need a twink. That's what he need. You need a twink that you can get.
And right now, he needs a fur baby.
I would say
that's what he needs.
It's somebody out there who claims to be the man of my dreams, but they got a man, and we just gonna sit there right there.
Oh, parking lot that. Woo! Can we get them on as a host?
Well,
they may pop up on the show one day.
Wait a minute. They profess to be the man.
You got the background going in the frenzy. I wish y'all could see what's going on, but it's going down.
I had to shake the table.
I would beware of someone who proclaims. Did I hear you say that someone is proclaiming to be the man of your dreams, and they are?
Well, realistically, I feel like the man of my dreams is probably already with somebody, and I'm just sitting here waiting for them to realize that I'm here and that I exist. And like my best friend would tell you, like I would tell people all the time, like I like niggas that like bitches. Can I say that on here?
You just said it.
Oh, well, I'm gonna say it again.
Real trade.
I like niggas that like bitches. No, not real trade.
Oh,
just because you like bitches don't mean that you real trade.
Okay,
you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
You could like bitches and you could like men.
Okay, and not be trade.
Right.
That's true.
And I couldn't date anyone who referred to a woman as a bitch.
See,
because I would feel like why. I just couldn't do it.
Right.
Like it's derogatory. Like
for you,
it's derogatory. For me, it's affirming. Because that's a bad bitch. She over.
Yeah.
That nigga is fine. Do daughters.
I see that.
All of that. And also, that could be like a generational difference too.
It could be.
Yeah, true.
That could definitely be it. For those who may be wondering, how old am I? This is how you know I'm old. Because I don't know how old I am. But I was born in 78. I feel like I'm 47. Or I could be 46 and turning 47.
Tommy, if you was 78,
I think I'm 46. Yeah. So it's definitely a generational.
You look good for your age. Like for real.
And guess what? I'm still here. Life's a journey.
She took me out with that release, and I could never get enough.
No,
but so guys, I know we are in different places with regard to like relationships, maybe even how we view relationships. I don't know if we're in different places with how we will engage in relationships moving forward from today, because hopefully I've inspired you all to just kind of think differently about how you are engaging with people and why you're engaging, and what wall that you have up that you're calling.
Baby, I ain't like that. You had said wall and looked at me and held my hand. I know that my wall is up.
Well, because you built a wall. You built a wall and you named it sacrifice.
I have built a wall.
And you've named it sacrifice.
I can admit that there is a lot of growing that I have to do as it relates to relationships. Romantic relationships. Me and my friends talk about it all the time, and I know that if I do not want to be a old, I can't say man bull diet. Well, we can't say that either. If I don't want to be an old man made single, living in a shack by my lonesome, I have to grow in some areas as it relates to how I engage with other men.
You aging gracefully, so I mean,
thank you, boo.
Definitely.
I mean, your body, your face, like you probably could.
I am what they call T.
One of them.
What?
Okay.
Should I?
Yeah, clock that.
Join? Okay. We don't know what this means. It's a generational difference.
No, but I think that like you have given me, like you have opened my eyes up to how I plan to engage in a relationship, or how I plan to move forward in a situationship if I choose to allow it to go that far. I like this whole idea about contracting, because I feel like that can be like an accountability measure that me and the individual can hold dear, and so we can like do check-in. Hey, how you feeling? This is what we said that you want to do. It's not happening. How can I support you? How can you support me in this? Not as a way to call people out, but as a way to call ourselves in, to make sure that we're both doing the work in order to keep this thing strong and healthy, And it's important. And life is about growing. And that's why spaces like this is so important for me to be able to live in my truth, because through you living in your truth, you done put me on game to something that I need to know. Yeah. You know, us YPs need y'all OPs to help us figure stuff out.
SPs.
Oh.
Seasoned people.
Oh.
Go ahead for it.
Young punks.
He's offended me long enough.
Young punks and old punks. YPs and OPs.
Oh, the P isn't for people?
Punk.
I am so old.
POUNK. It's power in my punk. That was power. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, you good. I thought you was gonna hit it for us.
No. Okay. There is power in the name of punk. Punks. There is power in the name of punk to break every chain.
Oh, that's where we
to break every chain.
I'll bring the chains out. Who knows?
Sacrilegious.
So, how about you, Jonathan? Where are you gonna take? What are you taking from JR's insight on relationships? So,
I really appreciated again the contract, the whole contract thing. I think was really useful. I'm sure we're gonna have a conversation with the mental health person, but I also wanted to, and that maybe that'll be a question for him. But like, how does something like a contract work with individuals who may be on the spectrum or deal with ADHD or like some mental health things? Like, will that contract still work in a relationship if you're dealing with somebody? But I feel like that question is coming.
I definitely think that's a great question. I want to also add, guys, that two thoughts that I have here. The way that I engage in relationships is not different. It doesn't differ whether it is platonic or romantic or business or I engage in relationships all the same. And the second thing is really I want to share a secret with you all.
Oh,
what?
I like secrets.
I like secrets. Tell me more.
You already do contracts in your relationships. They're just verbal.
You know what?
You're already doing it. So I love that you both are saying, like, I love this idea of a contract. So the thing is that I'm actually not asking you to do something new. Right. I'm asking you to do something different.
Just write it down.
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Because you're in a contract with your work. You're in a contract with your credit cards. You're in a contract with like so many things in our lives. And it's written in stone, okay?
Right.
And so I'm just saying, think about exercise. And that's what made me come up with this idea. And I was like, okay, maybe this should be written down and talked through in a strategic, growing, nourishing way. Yeah. And it's worked for me.
And you know what? I think that since we've been charged to think about what our relationship contracts can be, I want to ask our viewers, you know what? I want y'all to put into the comments, hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Jonathan's Jack, Tis Sniffies, and tell us.
If you see me on there, it's not me. So I tread lightly. It's gonna be somebody else on the other side.
It's never us.
And tell us, what are some of the things that you feel like will be in your relationship contract? Yeah. What are your wants?
Your sign? I want to know y'all sign.
Your desires. What are some things are your non-negotiables? Let us know what type of things can we see in your contract.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. Well, I wanted to thank you guys for having me here. I don't know. I'm not a relationship expert by any means, but I do love. And I love to figure out how to make it work, and because it teaches me and it offers me something to share with others. So thanks for offering me the platform to just kind of chat with your followers or listeners. What do we call them, the people? You know, we have terms for people nowadays.
All of the above.
Inviting my old self here. Thanks so much for those who have tuned in. Be sure that you join in to follow our friend Tobias, you said right, Chris and Ford for Lit Talk Live on first and third Tuesdays at 7:00. They have some really great conversations. I'm always tuning in. This is how I know this, because I've been watching y'all. So thanks again for having me.
Well, from 2 YPs to 1 OP and to all the P's in between.
SP. The kids, the children, they don't learn.
I'm Unc Punk.
They don't learn. We always teach.
On to my UPs. This has been Lit Talk, encouraging you to always live in your truth, to be authentic and be you. Until we meet again, holla at you. Peace.
Peace.